programming language. I believe yesterday was a good introduction for the basics that we need to understand. And today we are going to continue to see how do we get our data into R. But just some few housekeeping rules. We updated the folder with more data. If you check in the Google Drive, we've put more materials again. And then also you need to check in day one folder. We've added another R file, R script, so you can check and see that. And then I believe that right now you've got a folder either in your desktop or in your documents that has all the materials or the work that we're going to be using. Because as we are recording the work into R, you'll be always referring to that folder where you're working out everything. Okay, so now just a recap of what we covered yesterday, and then I go to what we are going to cover right now. We downloaded and installed R and R Studio. I'm hoping that now we're on the same page. Then we went for those that we saw how the R and R Studio workspace looks like. Those that had R already, we went ahead to update R using the different options to an updated version of 4.4.0. Then we also updated R Studio such that we are on the same page. We went ahead, we installed some packages that we thought they're very important. And then after installing the packages we went ahead and loaded them. After installing, we load the package. We saw the multiple ways on how you can do it. You can use the help command, how to assign variables using an equal sign or a less dash. We say that R is also sensitive, and you can also use it as a calculator. We further mentioned that R does not understand the different levels of measurement. So you have to instruct it if it's a categorical, if it's or if it's a numerical variable, depending on the data frame that you're using. So we talked about the data frame, the levels of measurement, why we need the levels of measurement. And then the last thing that I mentioned was about the R scripts and then the comments. So today, we are going to move on how to import data. So let me first check in the chat, and then I see if we are all on the same page on what I've just a recap I've given. Okay. Please type yes if the recap is okay, and then we continue from what we covered yesterday. All right. For those that are asking about the materials, kindly check in the Google link that we shared. It's even on the WhatsApp group. We just keep updating that link, and then you'll find the material there. Okay, today we're going to look at how to import data in R. Like
the volume, increase volume. Yes, Helen, it's me speaking. I'm saying that your volume is a little bit low.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
How about there?
Okay. That is okay.
Great. Okay. So we are going to move on and work out on how to import R, how to import our data into R. Okay, there are different ways on how you can import your data. I mean, because as you keep learning the language, you're going to discover multiple ways. So you always pick what is really easy for you. Having added the packages that we need, for example, yesterday we loaded readxl, which is going to help us to import the Excel files, that particular package. And then most of the other files are usually saved as CSV files, which we are also going to import in R. And then also the other thing that you can try to attempt, you can also be able to get different files in other programs and import them into R. For example, you can have a starter file, you can have a service file in SPSS, then from SAS, all those ones, they've got different commands, and then you can import them into R, and then you start working accordingly. That can be an exercise in case you're interested, especially for some of you that maybe you're having a starter file somewhere and you want to import it to R, and then you work out everything into the R language. Okay, so usually when you want to import data into R, you have to look at the file extension. Most of the time when you go to the field and collect data, so what happens, if you're using maybe you're using an Excel sheet, most of the time, for example, if you're collecting with ODK, when you input in the different values, or is the output, most of the time the output is in an Excel form, a CSV, or depending on what you really, on how the program was designed. So I'm going to first, when you look at the Excel file, I'm going to first stop sharing this, and then I share something. Okay, I'm going to share the Excel file. This Excel file is within the documents that we sent. If you look at it critically, when you look at how this file is, how it is saved, it is file FAAL.xlix. So it's a Microsoft Excel file. This is the extension. Most of the time, when you're saving a file, they'll ask you what type of extension do you want. For example, you can go to File and then you say Save As. When you say Save As, they will ask you what format do you want to use, and then you can tell the computer that as per what I want it as with an Excel workbook, that is the .xlsx, or you can save it as a CSV. This is the comma delimited, depending. You can play around with whatever that you want to save into, such that you're able to import it in R. Okay. I'm not going to save it again. I just wanted to share with you that if it has that particular extension, then the other file that we have in our folder, if you check again closely, it has an extension of CSV. So depending on the extension that we have, it will require us to use a certain command, as I'm going to illustrate. All right. So as per the data that we're going to use, I just want to explain briefly what it's all about, such that we are all clear on what we are going to use. I'm not going to give all the details because you can still quickly relate to whatever field that you're doing. So the data that we are using is about financial literacy among vocational students. So in this particular case, when it comes to financial literacy, we gave them different questions. We gave them 20 questions on different things, for example, interest, money, institution, etc. And then we went ahead, like if a student scored 1 out of 20, then that would be her or his mark. So the range was between 1, 0, and then 20. If somebody gets 0, implying they did not get anything. So it was like a quiz on different financial literacy questions. Okay, and so we got a code book where we had all the different questions coded, and then their description, depending on the data set that we are using. So I'm just going to use it as an example to illustrate what I want to communicate today. Then we also had a question which was talking about background characteristics. And among the different characteristics that we looked at, we had parents' school, that was in case maybe a parent of a student went to school or not, the rank of the student, the year of study, with year 1 or year 2, somebody's age. We also went ahead and grouped them. We asked about their gender, the parental personal monthly income, even the student's income, the work experience of a student, etc. So this is just an example to show you what we are going to see within our data set. The data set that we want to import into R it's always important that you have a quick feel or understanding of the different variables that you're collecting, depending on your field of specialization. This one, I didn't share it, but I shared the Excel sheet so we can see the variables. So if I share again, the file that I want to use, this is what you're seeing at your end. We have different variables. We have the Q score, that was the quiz score. When the students took the quiz, what they got out of 20. Okay, so, and we can do a summary statistics, and then we check what was the mean, the median, the average, and so on. This is what I was talking about, the Q21 parent school. We wanted to check if the parent of this student either attained a college education or not. We have also the Q2 22, that's a rank. So we are going to see all that the years. We had the year at school, whether first year or second year, the ages of the students, the sex, this is the gender, etc. There are just some few variables that I picked that just for illustration purposes. Okay. Let me pause again and ask, any question on that, or I continue? Are we together with the data set or with what I've just illustrated? Okay, great. So I'm going to share again. So this is what I've just explained. In case we are having our data saved with an extension of XLSX, that is a Microsoft Excel extension, what we are going to do, how we are going to import that particular data, it's very easy. The package that we're going to use, it is Read Excel, which we already have. All we need to do today is we are going to load that particular package. And then we'll go to File, Import Dataset, and then we go to Excel. From Excel, we browse, and then we see that our data is imported into R. Okay, and then this is something different. So let me first stop sharing, and then let's launch our R and see how can we, now we want to call this file into R. Okay. Let's launch our R, the R on our computers. Now we are going to see how we import our data set in R with an extension of XLXS. So like I mentioned, what we do in the Excel, in the R script that I sent, there are different illustrations that we looked at yesterday, so you can try to follow some. So what we are going to first do, how do we load data, especially if we are looking at the other extension? So what we do, we go to File, then from File, you move down and click Import Dataset. Then from Import Dataset, you move from Excel. Then from Excel, you click on that. When you click from Excel, it's going to bring you a certain window. And then in this, which has got Import Excel Data. Then here, you go to Browse. You click Browse. After clicking Browse, it's going to take you to the folder where you're working from. Or you have to navigate to the folder where the data is being stored. So in case I browse, I go to my desktop, which has got the R training folder, and then the data is within the day one folder. So I click on the day one folder, and then I click on the file, the Excel file that I want, and I click Open. So when I click Open, it gives me a data preview. It gives me the file path that I'm using. And then also, it gives me the code preview. And then after I click import. If I click import, then I'll be able to view the data into R. And then also, I'll be able to see within my environment space when it has changed and it's telling me that file, which is the default name that I saved on the Excel sheet, that it has got 400 observations of 17 variables. Let me first pause there and I check in the chat. Can I repeat the procedure again, or you've been able to do it? Okay. Okay. All right. Let me repeat once more. And then we do it the last time. Remember the file we are importing, it is an Excel file, okay, which has got the usual Excel files that we usually have, but now it has got data in it that we want to import into R, and then we further go ahead and do our analysis. A kind reminder, if you have questions, just post them in the Q&A, and then you will receive answers. Okay, I'm going to cancel this. And then, so this is the procedure, all right? You go and click File, where you see RStudio app, you click File. After clicking File, you're going to get a Dropbox. From the Dropbox, move down till where you see Import Dataset. When you reach at Import Dataset, there is another small window that comes. And then you move, and then you click on From Excel. Okay, so I click From Excel. When I click From Excel, it brings me a window which has got Import Excel Data. It has got a first line, the first box up. So I follow till the end where there is a word Browse on the right. I click on Browse. When I click on Browse, the R is asking me that I need to find where the data file is that I want to import into R. So I click Browse. When I click on Browse, I need to navigate till where that file is. So I go to my folder where I saved the file. Okay, and then I click on the file itself. The file is file FAAL, that is the default name, .xlsx. All right, so when I click on it, then I click open. When I click open, I give it some time to retrieve the data within the import Excel data window. So within this window, it is showing me a data preview on how my data looks like. It shows me the code preview, the library that I use, which is readxl. It shows me the path and the command, and then also the view. So after that, what I do, I come down and I click import. If I click import, it gives me, if I click import, within my R, it shows me the data I've imported. But also, when I look in my environment now, I can see the environment I'm looking on the right upper window. It has got file, that is the default name that I saved the file. It gives me more information, 400 observations of 17 variables. So if you look in your console, the R console, this is what it is giving us. It is showing us the library, which library is readxl, okay? And then it goes further to show us the command. The command is read_excel. And then in brackets, it shows the path, okay? that it picked the work from day one folder, and then at the end, it puts the name of the data set, which is file.xlsx. Then this last command that I'm having here, it is the view. So and it's what it brought later for me to be able to see that my file has been successfully imported into R. So I'm going to check in the data set again and see if you've been able to import a data set saved with the XLSX extension. You can also actually try now with other data sets. Maybe you have one on your computer and you want to just use that one directly. You can as well use yours, but then you just play around with the codes, because we say that the different codes that we are writing are reproducible, so you can easily transfer them to another project that you're having. Okay, I want to check in the chat and see if we are on the same page. Some people are adding WhatsApp, add me on WhatsApp. Please, let's concentrate. Then the WhatsApp will come later. Okay. All right. Great. So that is one option on how you can import your data, okay, with that particular extension. So now I'm moving on to the second option. How about in case your data is saved as a .csv? These are, most of the time, these are the commonly ways of how they save files that you can import into R. But I'm not saying that the only ones. There are very many of them. Some of the data is also saved into R direct, and then you can just use it direct. And then also there are some inbuilt data sets within R that you can use to practice. So depending on what exactly that you want to do. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing this. And then I briefly go back to the slides. Okay, so this is the using option 1, we are done. Now let's move on to option 2. Now we want to import data which has a .csv extension. If you have an Excel file, like the one we used previously, you can just go and say save as, and then with the saving type, you scroll down the given window and you use the comma delimited extension. With this particular approach, step number 1, we are going to set the working directorate. Okay, we want to understand where the folder where our data set is. At the moment we understand that, then all what we'll do is just to use the command, the read.csv. So what we are going to do, we are going to go within R. You have already this material. We are going to go to session. We set the working directory. We choose the directory, and then we go and direct to our folder. Okay, or you can still do it manually, but let's do the simpler way. And then after that, we shall use the read.csv command and import our data, and we'll be able to see it into R. Okay, so I'm going to stop here, then go back to R. All right. Okay. So I'm going to cross this out. I don't need it for now. Now let's go and we want to create the working directorate. Okay, how do we set the directory? So what we do, like I mentioned, you go to session. I believe you're also working at your end. As I speak, also try to work out. So click on session. After session, you go to set working directory. Okay, then it will bring a small window, and then you'll click on choose directory. When you click on choose directory, it is going to take you to the folder where you saved your work. So you click on that folder. After clicking on the folder where that data set is that you want to import, then you click open. When you click open, when you look in your R console, you should have something like this, the one that I've highlighted. Set WD, that is set working directory. And then in bracket, it is showing you the path where that data set is that you want to import. Here it is telling me that it's on the computer from the users. Then it is on my desktop. After the desktop, then I go to the R training folder. Then from there, I go to day one. Within day one, that is where the folder I want to import is, the file that I want to import is. So the moment you set your working directory, it will be good for you, for example, like, you can click on it, you come and save it. You can say copy, and then you come and save it into your file such that you don't need to redo it again all the time. You can come and say, you can just copy this line and then paste it up here within the RStudio such that you're able to save it. When you come another time, you do not really need to redo the same process again, because the path or the set directory link will be there automatically. Okay. So in my case, in case I run that particular line, so what I'm going to do, I want to now to import the data set using the read.csv command. Okay, so this is the command we are going to use. I can write, you remember the comments I talked about. This is the command that we are going to use. And then inside the brackets, we are going to put how the file was saved. So it is, you need to check again in your file and confirm the file extension. So it is file FLL.CSV, such that we don't get errors. So what is going to happen, we are going to come inside our brackets, and then we put file.csv. Sorry, this is small, CSV. Okay, so this is what, because you already have the path with you. So you're just telling R that go into this particular folder where I've got my material, and then you get for me the folder, the Excel file that I'm interested in. And then also, let me first pause a little bit and then check in the chat. Are we on the same page? Okay. Some people are saying no, I'm fast.
Okay. Yeah, Dr. Helen, I think you need to repeat the procedure.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. I'm going to reduce the speed, and then we move on the same pace. Great. So, let me first stop sharing. We are going to import okay. We are going to import now. I just want us to be on the same page. I want to show you the file which has got a CSV extension that I want us to import. Okay, So this is the file. It is the same file that I shared earlier, but this time around, this one has an extension of a CSV. I don't know if you can see where I'm putting the pointer. It has got it's file.csv. That is the extension. Okay, so now for us to import this kind of file into R, we use the read.csv command. But before we do that, we need to first create a path to tell R that this file, which is the CSV, it is within a given folder on my desktop. Okay, so I'm going now to stop sharing this, and then I launch R. We go through the procedure again. So if I stop sharing here, I open my R, okay? Here we are, I've launched R. Maybe the other thing before we go to the session, let me clear everything. In case you don't want to see this particular information within the R console, what you can do, you can click here. There is a broom and you sweep everything such that you have a clean space. Okay, so I'm going to clear the console by clicking on the broom. If I do that, that space becomes clear. I'm going to do the same within the environment such that we see everything closely. So if I come and click this broom, hope you're seeing it, I'm within the environment. When you come and click the broom here, it will ask you that, are you sure you want to remove all objects from the environment? And then I'll say yes. Okay. All right. So now let's see, how do we create the path, or how do we set the directory? What we do, step number 1, you go to session. After session, there is a drop down that you see, a small drop box. And then you move down to set working directory. When you reach to set working directory, it has another pointer and it brings a small window. So you move up to choose directory. When you reach there, you click on choose directory. When you click on it, it is telling you that it is you to choose where is your folder. Is it in your document? Is it in your documents, or it's on your desktop? Okay, so you navigate until where your desktop is. So for my case, the file that I want to import, or the CSV file that I want to use, it's within it's within a folder on my desktop, which is R training. Okay, so what happened is that now after getting to that folder, I click open. I just click on the folder, I stop there. I don't go to check whatever materials are inside. I'm just telling R that everything that I'm going to work with, they are within this folder. And then after that, I click open. If I click open, you see that in the R console, it is giving me a path that is telling me that when you reach on your desk, when I get to the desktop, then it has to continue to the last folder, which is the R Training 2024. And within this particular folder, that is where there is the file.csv, which I want to import using the read.csv command. And then I mentioned you can copy this path, the set working directory, and you paste it into your RStudio up here, such that when you come again another time, you don't need to follow through the same procedure, because you would have already said, you would have already told R that, you know, this is where all the work that I'm going to do is within this particular folder. And so you don't need to go through the same process of session, then working directory, choose working directory. That's why I got this link and I saved it up here, such that in case I click save, when I come next time, I don't need to follow that procedure again. All I'll need to do is to just come, I click at it at the end, and then I click run. It's like I just launch the path, and then I'm able to continue to do whatever that I want. Okay, let me go back to the chat. This is what I'm getting. Error. Object cannot be found. Okay. You're saying that you're getting an error that the object cannot be found. We've not yet reached there, so you're actually ahead of us. I've not reached at that particular point. If you are okay. Of course, what I'm saying, the path at my end is going to be totally different from yours. So based on if you're having then KA downloads, day2 exploratory, you're using, that is, if the file.csv file is within that folder, then you're right. But I think that path is wrong, because all the materials that we are using, they are still in day 1, not day 2. Try to check again, otherwise you're going to get an error. We are all the file that we want to import, it's within the day 1 folder. So I expect that your last folder should be day 1, not day 2. Day 2 materials are going to be used later after this. Try to cross-check again. Okay. You cannot save the directory. We just save the path. Then when you get the path and you put it into your R script, you're able to save it. And then next time you don't need to follow the same procedure again. Okay. Repeat again how to clean the console, how to save, repeat where to copy. Yes, Victor, I think the path is okay. My path is going to be different from yours, depending on where your folder is, where the file that we want to import is. So it is different. And remember, we are now using the CSV file. Some of you are putting the Excel. We are already done with that particular part. With the first option, we're importing the Excel. Now the second option, we are importing a file that is saved as a CSV. So if you're looking at the one of the CSV, automatically you're going to come up with errors. Kindly, let's follow closely, because we are repeating ourselves. Some of you are asking, how do we import? Okay. In case you're having the read.csv and you're getting an error, then it implies that the path is not correct. I'm seeing somebody having an error in file RT, cannot open the connection, or cannot open no such file or directory. It implies that the directory you're having is not right. The path you set is not right. So it's the reason you're getting that error. Okay, I'm going to repeat once more, and I'm hoping that we can all get on the same page. All right. So please note that we are importing a file saved with an extension of CSV. The option which is saved with an Excel extension, which is XLSF, we are done with that. Okay, so now we want to import data that is saved as a CSV. First thing, you have to know where is the folder that has got this particular file. Is it in your downloads? Is it on your desktop? Is it in your documents? Have that file somewhere, because at the end of the day, as we are setting the working directory, it is that folder we are targeting. At the end, as you navigate through the path, the last folder should be the one where that file is. In this particular case, it's a file.csv file. So as we are setting the working directory, I expect from your side that, of course, I'm saying that mine has got an R training because that is the folder where I'm having all my materials. Okay, let me first stop sharing. Okay. So this is what I want to show you. I don't know if you're seeing what I'm sharing. Professor Susan, are you seeing the folder I'm sharing? Just to confirm.
Yes, I'm seeing.
Okay, great. So participants, when you look up here, I've got R training. This is the folder on my desktop. But inside the R training folder, there is day one. Okay, so within the day one, I've got these different materials. So I want to, in case I use the set working directory, I'm targeting this file, which has got file.csv. So depending on where your data is, depending on the folder where this file is, because it's what we are targeting. Also, I can even stop at the training because still here, I've got the same file, which is CSV. So depending on where you saved that file, the file.csv, we are targeting that folder. For me, it's on the desktop. So that's why as I navigate through the path, it goes up to our training 2024. Okay, so I'm going to stop this. I'm just trying to clarify more such that you get to understand what I'm trying to explain. So if I share again my R, okay. Okay, so what we do, we go to, I'm going to clean my R console again. Just click on the broom. We are looking at on the left-hand side, the bottom window. In the corner, there is where you clear console. It's like a small broom that you can click on, and then everything will be swept off. So I'm resuming. So what you do, you go to session, okay? After session, move on to, it will bring a drop box, then move and click Set Working Directory. After setting working directory, then you move on to choose directory. All right. If you choose directory, then you have to navigate. You have to navigate up to where your folder is. If your folder is within downloads, then you have to navigate up to there. If it is on your desktop, where I told you that it will be easy to put it somewhere where you can easily like get the data from there. Or if it is in your documents, still you have to navigate to your documents. But most of the time, it will automatically take you where that particular work is, but depends on the computer that you're having. Of course, my path will be different from the path that you're using. So when I get to that folder, I click open. When I click open, it's going to give me this particular path. okay, that is telling me when I reach on my desktop, then the last folder is R Training 2024. So within this folder, that is where I've got my file.csv file that I want to import. And then I said that I can copy this link. Okay, I just highlight it, then I copy, and then I come and I paste it anywhere within my R script, such that next time I don't need to repeat the same procedure again. When I come another time, when I want to use the same folder, or where if within that folder there is a file that I want to work on, I just come and launch this line again, and I just click run, and then it will run automatically. Okay. And then after that, what we are going to do, the moment your path is right, that is the condition. If the set working directory path is right, then it implies that you're not going to get any error. The errors that you're getting is because your path is not right. I'm going to move on a little bit, and then later I'll ask in the chat if you're on the same page. So how do we use the read.csv command? Okay, what we are going to do, this is our command that we want, the read.csv. And then inside, we put the file name. How did you save the data set? The data set that you have, we saved it as file.csv. In case you're using a different data set, then you have to put that name that you used, such that R is able to capture it. Okay, so in case I run line 42, okay, remember inside I've put file.csv. If I run line 42, what happens? I see that in my console, I'm seeing some data that has come up, and my R console looks messy now. I don't know if you're also having that at your end. So what we can do in order to have our data combined, for example, within let's say a data set within R, we can create an object name that we give to our data set. For example, I can say, I'm going to call my data. Remember, we talked about assigning variables. I'm going to call my data, since it's about financial literacy, I'm just picking a name that I'm interested in, any, you can give it any. So I'm going to call the whole of this data literacy, and I create a literacy data set. You can give it finance, you can even set data, whatever name that you want. We want to create an object name. You can give it your name, anything that you're interested in. We are not strict on that. When I'm assigning a variable, remember like yesterday where we said like age is equal to 30, age is equal to this one is equivalent to a certain value. So here I'm going to create a variable which I'm calling literacy, and I assign it to my data set, such that I'm able to refer to it each time I want to do computations. For example, if I say literacy, I can say less or dash, or I can use an equal sign. And I copy this, when I copy that, and then I come and I paste it here. Hope you're seeing line 45. I created an object. That is the name I want to call the whole of my data set. And then I said, let literacy be equal to line 42. Why I'm doing that, such that I stop having my data set seen within the R console. So if I run line 45, take a close look, then I'll recap it again. If I run line 45, okay, see what is going to happen. If I run line 45, when I come to my R console, I see it here, okay? but I don't see the results. Check what happened to the environment. The environment, within the environment, I'm seeing, oh, the data code literacy with 400 observations of 17 variables. And for you to tell that you've successfully imported your data set into R, you always, number one, when you check down here in the R console, you will not see any error or any rates that are coming. At the same time, when you look in the environment, you'll be able to see that, oh, the data set has been successfully imported, and you're able to read some other information, the 400 observations and with 17 variables. Okay, I'm going to pause and then check if we are on the same page. Okay, Victor, has that worked? If whether you use an equal sign, it still work if the path is right. CSV small letters, it's not capital. Kindly change that. That's why you're getting an error. CSV, file.csv, put it in small letters. Okay. Does the CSV have a specific package? No, that is just an extension. That's just,
Yes, Ellen.
Yeah.
Can you ask one of the guys without somebody who is failing to get the file to show their screen?
Okay, that's a great idea.
Yeah. Have you got me?
Yes, Thomas, go ahead.
Hello, have you got me?
Yes, I have. Thank you.
Yeah, I said you could ask somebody with somebody who's having a problem getting the file to show their screen. Yeah.
Okay. Can we get 2 people who can share, and then we walk through together? We can get 2, we do for the first one, and then another one can also share, and then we support you if you have a problem, if your side hasn't yet worked out for you. I think they have to be promoted to.
Yes, we promoted Solanke and then also Elisa.
Okay, thank you. Sola, can you share? And then Elisa will share later.
So Solanke, please, you have all the rights. Ayojesotumi, is it Ayojesotumi? Solanke, and Elisa. Please go ahead and share your screen. Solanke.
I'm sharing the screen. Please, can you see it?
Yes.
So you said we should go to session.
Aminat, could you load the libraries, please? Just a second, Solanke, could you load the libraries we had yesterday?
Are you talking to me?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Where did you work from yesterday?
Okay, there's another one here. See this one?
I wanted to see where you loaded the libraries. We wanted to load them again.
Okay. So please direct me on how to load them.
Did you attend yesterday's session?
Yes, I was there. In fact, I was working on that screen, but after some time, the thing took me to save. So I saved it and I left the place and I opened this one again.
Do you have the file that you saved?
Yes, I think I should have it.
Okay, go within that folder and just double click on it. It should automatically appear here. Otherwise, we can just what? Otherwise, we can load them again. You just type library if they're already installed.
Okay.
I'm not seeing anything. Okay, let's go to R. Because it should have an extension of .r in case you saved it right. It is not that one. That was when we wanted to correct the problem of R tools. Please cancel.
Okay.
Okay, let's go back. Open Launch R.
Okay.
Close and launch R Studio. We want to see the four. Yeah, I'm seeing that you already have it. Close this.
This is our studio.
Okay. Can you go to File?
Okay.
Create R script. New file. Go to New File. New file. R script.
Okay.
Okay, so these are the four workspaces that we're talking about.
Yes.
Now, load library tidyverse.
Library.
I'm believing that you installed them yesterday. So if you installed them, then you just need to
installed them yesterday.
Great. So type library, then we want to load the package tidyverse. You can click on the blue.
Okay.
Okay, then type in tidyverse. TID. There's a Y. That is not the right.
Okay, yeah.
Can you run it and we see? Click the run button.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. So that shows that you already have it. Wonderful. So now what we are going to do, let's create the working directory. Yeah, you go to session.
Okay.
Okay. Continue. Choose directory. Choose directory.
Okay.
So we need to. Which folder are you using?
I have it on my desktop.
Great. Okay. So it is day one. Is it day one?
Yes.
Okay, click on that. And then come and click open.
Okay.
Are you seeing the path down here?
Yes.
Can you copy it and paste it in the R script such that you're able to save it? Copy that line. Copy from set WD.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Then I should put it here.
Yeah, sure. So when, for example, if you want to launch that folder again tomorrow, you don't need to follow, you don't need to go again through session. Okay. So now you go to the next line. Enter. Enter the cursor. Okay, so let's use read.csv. We are using the command now.
Okay.
Read.csv. It's even there.
Okay.
Then now inside in double quotes, put the file.csv, the file that we want to read.
Okay, day one.
We are putting the file name. I believe in day one.
FAAL, yeah.
In day one, you have that file, file.csv. Yeah, it's the one we want to read. But file.csv, CSV is small letters, and then put everything in double quotes.
Okay. Okay.
Can you run that line?
Okay.
Do you see what happens? That your console is becoming messy?
Yes.
So now to avoid that, what we want to do is we want to create an object name that will have all our data inside.
Okay.
So go on a new line, enter.
Okay.
Pick any name that you're interested in, or you can put your name, whatever you want, anything.
Okay.
Okay. Now, let's say, we are assigning your name to this data set. Okay.
Okay.
So you can put an equal sign, or you can say less dash. You removed line number 3. I wanted us to copy. Okay, then put read.csv. That
Okay.
one. And then put in our file name. No, the file name, not that one. The file,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Put it in quotes, double quotes.
Yes.
Okay. Can you run that line now?
Okay.
Tell me what has happened. What has changed?
I've seen that the name and the read CSV has gone to the down parts of the left-hand side.
Okay, so this is the command that we've said. Now you're saying that you're assigning your file to your name, that all that information within the file CSV, you're calling it, your name is now the dataset name. You get it? When you come and read in the environment, we also have more information.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, it is telling you that within this data set, you're having 400 observations of 17 variables.
17 variables, yes.
Then it implies that now you're good to go and continue with other things that you want to do.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
So can I stop sharing?
Great, yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Eileen.
You can sweep in case you don't want to see that information in your console. Can we get one more? One more person to share?
Yes, Elisa. Elisa, please go ahead. Elisa, share your screen. Elisa. Elisa.
Any other person interested to share? If you're still stuck, as you're sharing, then the rest should also be learning what we are doing. Okay. Elisa, take us through, then I'll support.
Yes, here I have my screen. They are in R. So I try to load the tidyverse. I managed to do that. I think you can see in the console. So I had that set work director at the bottom there.
Okay.
So I tried to copy and paste it here.
Great.
So from there, now I don't know what to do.
We want to get the data into R using the read.csv.
So I need to put read.csv. Okay, read.csv. Which is this one?
No, right? The first one.
The first one. Oh, okay.
That one.
This one.
Mm.
So I need to put the file name, right?
Sure.
It's, oh, sorry. It's like this.
Let me ask you, where are you getting file to?
When I was serving in CSV, I added a 2 at the end of the name of the original file.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
The CSV should be small. Put it in small letters.
Should be small letters.
Yes, .csv, small letters.
Oh, okay. Maybe.
Leave the name alone. I'm talking about the extension.
Oh, okay, okay.
The dots,
CSV.
whatever.
Oh, what is happening? Okay. CSV, but here,
That's small.
it's small already.
I mean here, where within the brackets.
Oh, in the brackets.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, okay. CSV, like this.
Sure. Can you run that line and we see?
Ah, okay. So.
Okay. Now I want you to condense this information into a variable name.
Okay.
You can put Elisa, or sometimes we put the variable, the object names, depending on the data set that you're working
Okay.
with.
I want to put college.
Okay.
College is equal to.
You can copy line number 3 and then like whatever is within number 3, let it be condensed in college. Copy.
Oh, like this.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, so the whole of this collapsed to college.
Great.
Okay.
So run that line. So that's why you're saying that it can be different. So what has changed? Are you seeing any changes? When you look in your console, we don't have any rates, implying that our path is perfect, is okay. And then also when you check in the environment, are you seeing under data there is a word college in the environment? Elisa, are you following? Hope you've not disappeared. It could be.
Elisa is muted.
Can we have Michelle?
College is an object name. And so our data set, we are going to call our data set as college. So that name can change. It doesn't matter whatever you give it to. Okay, let's get one person more.
Michelle is ready.
Okay.
Thank you.
Is it Michelle Nyoni? Okay, Michelle Nyoni is promoted her, so you should be able to share her screen. Michelle, please go ahead to share your screen.
Okay.
Hi, Doc. Yeah, so my issue is, as you can see, I don't seem to have the run function up here for some reason, but I've managed to set my working directory.
Interesting. What version of R are you using?
4.40.
Thomas, would you have any idea? Or Professor Susan?
I'm not very sure because there could be something relating to the showing of the the short. I need to. Because this one is actually, the runs, the function above here are not being showed. I don't know whether it's just some setting.
I don't know. Can you click on these arrows here? I'm seeing arrows here and then here.
Which arrows?
Which arrows?
Are you
These
seeing
ones?
where I'm putting the pointer? Yeah.
You try to click on that and we see.
It goes to the top to line number one.
They are inactive.
They're inactive. Can you close the close and open again?
Okay. Should I save? No, I won't save for now.
Okay. Can you try to open it again?
Okay.
And then you share.
I'll share my screen. Okay.
Somebody said you probably saved it with the wrong extension. Just open your R Studio.
Okay.
And
Once you
then
open, then you share.
there's one saying that you can click Control plus Enter, and then we see if it runs.
Still the same. Okay.
Mm.
You go to File. Click on the file, New. Okay, click on that, and then you say R script. I see. Okay, click on that.
There we go.
Because I see you save as a .r history. You're opening something .r history.
Okay.
So save this as a script, and that should be able to solve the problem.
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay.
All right. Let me stop sharing so we can continue.
Yeah, you can save it as the okay.
Okay.
So back to you, Ellen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, can we now continue? Have we now on the same page with getting data into R? Please type in the chat, type yes if it is okay. Okay. All right. And also we are having a recording. If there is something that might not be clear yet, you can try to listen in after the training. Okay, let's continue. I think this slide is okay. We now know how to install packages, load packages, set working directorate, importing data. We can now do the comments. There are also some other things that you can also check within your data set. For example, you can, if you want to know the number of rows, the number of calls, the column names, etc. These ones you can try on your own. And then we can also, I think we know right now how to save the R scripts. Okay, we know how to clean the console, etc. All these commands that you can try out. But before we move on to this, let's do some simple things within R. I'm going back to R, okay? All right. So here, I called my data set literacy. It is the name I'm having here. If you've used a different name, then it implies that all the next steps that we're going to be doing, you should be using that name that you use to refer to your data set, what I'm calling the object name. Okay, we can do some few things. For example, I know already I've imported my data successfully. I can actually run the object name in case I want to see the data, but we've already seen it earlier because like I said, literacy is equal to this. So you can say, okay, if you want to see what is inside literacy, you can be able to see the data set. Or you can come just within your environment and then you click on the Excel icon. When you click on it, when you click here, you'll be able also to view your data set very well. Hope you've gotten that part. So sometimes it is good to first get to know how your data looks like. So in case maybe you want to see the first few columns or first few rows of your data set, you can use the head command. Okay, you can say head, the head command, and then inside the head command, you type in the name of the data set that you used. In this particular case for me, I used the literacy. So in case I run this line, it's going to give me the first 6 rows within my data set. Everything, it will give me only the first 6 rows. In case I'm not interested in the 6 and I want to be specific, I can type head and then I put in a number. For example, like, okay, just give me only the first 3. And then I run that particular line and it will only give me 1, 2, 3, the first 3 rows, whatever, depending on what you want. Okay. And then also, it is good to understand the structure of the data set. If you come to the structure of the data set, we use the command str. Okay, it gives us the structure of the data set where we see the different data types, whether the variables are numerical in nature, if they are integers, or if they are categorical. So I use the str. Inside, I type the name I've used. Remember, that is very important. The name that you save, the object name. So in case I type str literacy and I run this particular line, you see that everything, it will tell me if I come down here, I'm having my data frame, which is the data set. It's also telling me 400 observation of 17 variables. And then it is showing me that my first variable, Q score, it is an integer, okay? And it is giving me like some of the beginning values. And then my next variable, which is Q21 parent school, it is telling me that it's a character, okay? And it is having some college studies, like, because here it was categorical, telling us that either a parent has a college education or a parent doesn't have. And at the same time, when I come to the Q rank, I'm seeing that it's also a character. And with the rank, in this particular case, we wanted to check if a student has a diploma or a certificate. So for me to tell R that no, they are not like characters, they're not just wordings, but we need to tell R to read the variables that are categorical in nature into categorical. So we are going to use the as.factor command. Okay, because this is where the relevancy of the level of measurements come in. We said under the levels of measurements, you have to tell if it's nominal or ordinal. Those are all categoricals. And then if they're ratio or scale or interval, all those are integers. Or sometimes they would give you their numericals. So what is going to happen? This is what, it's happening on all the other variables. So this is enough to tell me that no, my data has not been, the categorical variables are not yet read properly because they have to appear as factors. Okay. In case you don't want to read everything, you can say, okay, I want to know the structure of, for example, only one variable. You can still type str structure. You type what is the name of your data set. In my case, it's literacy. Okay. Then I put a $sign. If I put a $sign, now I'm specific that I want only this variable. For example, I can say, I want only the rank variable. Okay. So if I run this particular line, what I'm going to see here, it is telling me that, oh, the rank variable it is showing you that it's a character, and they're having two things, diploma and certificates. But what I'm saying that, no, I want to change, instead of reading it as a character, I want to change it to, I want R to read it as a categorical variable. And with that, I'm going to use the as.factor. Of course, there's also other ways on how you can read everything automatically in just one command. But let me first show you this one. Okay, so for us to, if you want to tell R that no, read this variable as a factor, what we are going to do, this is what we do. You write literacy, okay. I'm considering only one variable, then I'll show you with the rest. And then I say as.factor. Then inside I put everything. Okay. So in case I run now, I say that within my literacy dataset, pick for me the variable Q22 rank, and then I'm using the as.factor command, read it as a categorical variable. If I run line 68, okay, I'm seeing it again within my R console. So I want to run its structure again and see how does its structure now look like? Has it been converted? If I run the str, if I run line 69, now it is going to tell me that R, that the rank, it's a factor with two levels. Remember, we said there are two levels. Either a student has a certificate, is studying for a certificate or a diploma. So in this particular case, I'm telling R, don't read rank as a character, read it as a categorical variable. And so in that, I use the as.factor command. So depending on the number of variables that are categorical that I want to convert, I'll do the same on everything, such that when I run the structure command again, those that were characters have to read as categoricals. So when you check in the data1 extension, sorry, in the data1 script that you're using, that's why you're having all these other commands that we are converting to categorical. Everything, I just highlight, I run at once. So when I run again, then everything has changed. They'll tell you that, okay, now the Q parents is a factor with two levels. When you come to the age group, the age that we grouped, it's a factor with 5 levels. Then also the income level is a factor with 5 levels. So it's no longer a character. Okay, let me pause a little bit and I check in. Are we on the same page? Are we on the same page? Okay. Okay. All right.
Dr. Helen,
Yes, please.
there are more no's than yes.
Sure.
And some are saying you're so fast.
Okay.
Hmm.
I'm going to recap again. Let me clear my console.
Dr. Helen,
Yes, please.
those who would like to use the YouTube, there is a YouTube channel for Forum. That's what they should look for. We don't have a link for the YouTube channel, but there is, if you go online and just type in Forum YouTube channel, you will get all these recordings there. Okay. Thank you.
All right. So so there are two things that we want to learn here. Objective number 1 we want to know the structure of the data set. Maybe what I can do, let me go back to my data set and let me reduce on the variables. Maybe that will make it more clear. Reduce, just a second. It could be that many variables are creating confusion. Delete. All right, I think this will make sense. Okay. I'm going to go back to okay. I want to read in a different data set, where I've reduced the variables to make this part a bit more simpler, so that we learn very easily. I'm going to create, let me sweep this. Okay. This is file reduced. Yes, so I'm reading in a different file. It's still the same file, but I've just removed some of the variables such that we get this part very well. I'm gonna be very slow, so kindly take a look. So I'm reading in a new CSV file, which I've called file reduced, but I'm still using the same object name. Remember, we said you can adjust the object names. Okay, so if I read that, let me check again. File reduced. Okay, I've seen the path. So why I'm getting this error, it is telling me that cannot open file, this no such file or directory. This is what I was telling you, that sometimes you have to read the error and then find out what could be the problem. So I'm going to go back and launch the working directory where this file is, the one that I want to use. So in case I run that, okay, so I'm going to launch this again. And I will not have the error again. So what I'm having now, I'm having the literacy, my file, with the 400 observation. I've reduced the variables to 7. So I can check here. This is what I'm having. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've just deleted off the rest for just demonstration purposes. What we are having among these variables, it's only the Q-score and the open age that are continuous. Q, the parent school, the rank, the year, and then the sex, they are all categorical variables, okay? And in this particular case, they are all nominal variables because there's nothing like maybe you need to know any order. The order doesn't matter. All right, so when you come here, so let's go ahead and check this. I'm going back on the structure of the data set, which I said we want to describe our structure of the data set, and we use the str. All right. So inside str, it implies structure. It's like we want to see whether the different levels of measurements are read incorrectly within R. So if I run line 64, this is what I'm seeing. I'm told that it's a data frame with 400 observations with 7 variables. This one I've already seen. Then this side is giving me the different variables that I'm having. I've got the Q-score, okay? And it is telling me the data type that is an integer. with some of it is giving me some of the data like 218 etc. When I come to the second variable, which is talking about parent, school, or education, it is telling me that it's a character, that they're just wordings, that yet I know when I collected my data, I wanted to categorize them into two, those with college education and those without. When I come to the rank, it is still showing me that it's a character, yet there are two things. One with a diploma, some have diploma, some have certificates. So the moment I see these characters, I want to change these characters such that R reads them as categorical variables. Are we on the same page here? Let me check in the chat if that is okay before I continue. Is that okay? Our aim, we're seeing the structure of the data set. After seeing the structure of the data set, what we are seeing that some of the variables are read as characters instead of categoricals. So for us to convert character to categorical, we are going to use the as factor command. Okay. So what we do, in case I want to convert, for example, I want to convert like Q rank to categorical, what I do, first, I pick the name of my data set, which is literacy. Okay, literacy. How do I attach the respective variables that I want? I use a $sign on my computer. The moment I put a $sign, you see a drop box asking you which variables do you want? And say, I want, for example, the parent school. I want to convert the parent school to into a categorical variable, as I had it in the beginning. So I assign a less dash, or I put an equal sign, and I use as a factor command. It is as.factor, then bracket. Okay, so but inside the bracket, I put, so as.factor, then inside the bracket, I put everything. Okay, now the question is, how do I read this line? Please listen. Go to my dataset literacy, pick for me variable Q21 parent school, convert everything as a factor. Read it as a categorical variable by using as a factor command. So that's why inside the bracket, we put the same thing, that we want to read that variable as a factor. In case I have another variable, I want to do the same thing. I can do the same for rank, because I know rank is also categorical. Go to my data set, literacy, pick for me the Q22 rank variable, read it as a categorical using as a factor. So in case I run this line, okay, and I run also this particular line, and I run the structure again, see now what is happening to our output. I can see that the parents' school is no longer a character, it's now a factor. They're telling me it has got 2 levels, those with some college education, others with none. I'm also seeing that also rank is also a factor now with 2 levels. Okay, whereby some students have in for a certificate, others are in for a diploma. We can do the same for this other one to convert everything to categorical. Let me check in the chat. Is that a bit clear? Or we get somebody to share and then I direct. Somebody's saying that I put the comments on each command. But now we are working together. Why don't you do it at your end? Anybody still finding it hard to convert a character to a categorical? How does it say literacy, not a variable? Why? I said literacy is just our object name. It's just the name of our data set. You can use anything, like how our colleagues were sharing using their names and so on. What is the purpose of having it on a categorical data? Why we are converting it into categorical, it's number one, because remember when we are doing analysis, for categoricals, we need to run frequency tables. So you're not going to be able to come up with a frequency table if you're having it as a character, because characters, they're just wordings, okay? And then also, when you're going, for example, if you want to interpret your results, how are you going to check the relationship within the different levels? So that's why you're saying that I need to clear everything from the beginning. That is one of the reasons why yesterday we are looking at why is it important to understand the levels of measurements, okay? It is going to support you on how you're going to interpret the data and how you're going to present it and what statistical technique are you going to use. It's the reason why we are doing all this. Is it converting to categorical or coding there? Please share the questions in the Q&A. So, can I move on? I'm believing now this step is okay. So we can do the same. Great. Okay. I'm going to show you, I'm going to go back and read the original data set because that's what I'm interested in. I believe now this one you all know. Okay. Also, there is another simple technique that you can still use if you're having a big data set, if it's not a small data set. Within our folder, there is a file called day1extension.r. And it is this, I mean, it's the same information. I just thought that if sometimes you're having a big data set and you won't be able to say, like, you know, as a factor and what. So I'm still using the same thing. I run my the set working directory. I want to read in everything. So here I'm seeing the structure again. It's messy with characters, yet I've got very many variables. So look at line 22. I can use this particular line to convert everything automatically in one line. So I say literacy is my data set name, which I'm having here. So I say literacy less or equal, that it's equal to. Then I say from my data set, literacy, I'm having these symbols. Sometimes we refer to them as pipe. It's like going through. Within my literacy data set, I put these symbols, okay, through it. Then I put the mutant if. This is a command that I need to use to convert everything automatic, like within one line, instead of like breaking all the lines into one. And then inside the mutant if, inside I put like is.character. I'm telling R that within my data set, literacy, where you see the character, is character, okay? Convert it as a factor, put it as a factor. So after that, I don't know if this line is very clear because it's just going to do everything within one line and you don't need to go and work upon each and every line. That's the reason why I called it an extension. So in case I run this line 22, okay, and I now come and check the structure again, it's going to show me that everything has been converted automatically just within one line. So what the command does, that it converts all the character columns within my literacy dataset to factors. Then, so in that particular case, like all the characters I've converted to factor using just the condition of the mutant if command only. In case you don't want to go ahead and do a lot of writing, still within one line, you can do that. Let me check in the chat. Is that okay? Make sure if you're having an error, you need to load the library tidyverse. Hope you loaded it at the beginning. Remember what we said, each time you open R, it's better to load the libraries. That's why sometimes you come up with errors. That, for example, that particular error, if you load tidyverse, it should disappear. And it's after installing any package that you want, each time you come back to work within R, remember to load those libraries. Okay, so this was just another simpler way on how you can do everything just within one line. So can I continue? Please type yes if it is okay. Okay, great. I'm seeing many yeses than the no's. So that is great. Also, the day one extension.r, it's within the day one folder. You can check for it. You can go back and check there. Okay. Professor Susan, I don't know if we need a break or I continue.
Only maybe for 10 minutes up to 4.
Okay, let me ask the participants. Can I continue or we take a break of just...
Already they are showing you break, please.
Oh.
Up to 4. So at 4 we are coming back. The break is 8 minutes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Somebody is saying that continue. We are not giving you 15 minutes. We are giving you only 8. Those that are asking for the data, please check in the Google link.
Wycliffe needs you. Agumba Wycliffe. He needs you. He needs to go to a break room with you.
Yeah, I'm seeing it here. Maybe we can do that after. If we can send an email, we can create a Zoom after dissolving the whole group today. How is that?
I will be running away from jam.
Mm.
Maybe you can conduct it alone.
Yeah, sure. I can.
Yeah.
Thomas, you're also running away.
Also running.
Okay, Wycliffe, you can send me an email and then we can do a Zoom after the whole group has dissolved.
It looks like somebody is hacking the system or what?
Who is that?
Because Wycliffe says it's not him.
Hey.
I'm seeing the channel.
I think he has joined today.
That somebody hacked his account, so it's not.
Oh, okay. Registration link. Okay. Welcome back. I think we can continue. I'm seeing some people complaining that I'm getting an error, literacy, blah blah. Make sure you load the library Tidyverse all dplyr. Then you should stop getting that error. Okay. Let's get started. Other comments will be answered along the way in the Q&A. Are you back? Please type yes if you're back. Hoping I'm not talking to myself. Great. Okay. Let's continue. So we now know how to, how to convert the character variables to categorical, how to check to using the structure str command to check the structure of our data set. So I've just shown this, the different alternatives that you can use. We've seen the structure, that everything is now okay. All right. We're going to just do some few simple statistics.
Our volume is low.
Sorry?
The volume is low.
Okay.
There's something to do with muted.
Somebody says he has a mutate error. Can they show their screen?
Okay. Let me stop sharing.
If you have a mutate error, it's called Abdallah Kira something.
Is she trying to do it muted function? Or?
That she's dealing with a mutate error.
Who is that person? If you have an error, can you share?
She has a mutate error.
What is the name again? You wanted them to share the screen.
I wanted them to share this because she says she has a mutate error.
What's the name?
Abdal Hawa. Abdul Hawa. I think it's Hawa Abdul Karim.
Abdul. We have so many Abduls. Is it possible they raise their hand? Because we have so many Abduls here.
Error in literacy. Mutate if character as a factor would not find function. Pipe. It needs to share.
I think he can solve that using, maybe he didn't load the dplyr or the Tidyverse package, because the mutant if command needs the dplyr package. That's what I was saying, that if he can run that, and then that error should be sorted.
Is it Abdul Karim? Hawa.
He's
Maybe
the
it's
one.
Abdul Karim. We have promoted Abdul Karim. Please go ahead and share your screen. Hawa. Hawa.
Can you see my screen, please? Good afternoon. Thank you for the opportunity.
Okay.
Yes, we can see your screen.
All right, thank you. So my problem is with the mutate function, trying to change all the variables in character to factor.
Okay.
Okay. So this is the command. I'm not sure if I got it right in the first instance, but I've tried to load my dplyr and the tidyverse.
Okay, can you run and listen?
Okay. Okay, I've run it.
Then run str, run structure, type str, then bracket, put the
My
name.
literacy. Okay.
Can you run that?
Fantastic. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. You can stop sharing.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Anyone with a similar challenge? All you just need is to load the library. Tidyverse should be able to, you should be able to solve that error. It is TIDYVERSE. If you if you don't have the right name of the package, again, still will come up with an error because R will not recognize that. If you type, like for somebody saying an error, but the spelling is not right. Okay. I'm sharing my R script again. All right. Okay. So now that we've converted, we know that our data sets reads right. All the categorical variables have been converted. And then we also have, with the integers, they are the same as, sometimes they say numerical variables. So those ones, really, you don't need to have a big deal about them. You can do, most of the time, you can do summary statistics, okay, using a summary command. The command is summary, okay, and then inside you type in the name of your data set. So when you do that, okay, and you run, when you come in your console, it will show you some of the things that, okay, like for the case of the Q-score, since it's a continuous variable, it will tell you that it has the minimum of 1 and then the mean of 11.23, blah, blah. When you come to the parent school is to tell you college education or higher, there are 231, and then no college education, it is 169. This is the thing that we're talking about, doing the descriptives, and then it supports you. When you look at the sex, the females are 271, and then the males are 129. Now, in this case, when you just put in the name of the data set to give you a summary, it will just give you a summary on all the variables that you have. However, you can also just target only a specific variable if you're interested in that. And then, for example, here, if it's a continuous variable, you can say like summary, and then you type your data set, and then you put a dollar sign of what? You want a summary of what? You're saying that I need a summary, go to my literacy data set, and then pick for me the Q score. Let me rewrite this again. We can say summary. That is my command. You type in literacy, okay? Literacy, then dollar sign. When you put a dollar sign, they're asking you want a summary of what, and then you come, for example, you click that, and then if you run, it will still give you the same information as you had earlier, only that this time around, you're just interested in a specific variable. With a summary, that works for all continuous variables. You can also do other things like you want only the mean, the minimum, you want the standard deviation using the SD, etc. Some there, I mean, these are all inbuilt commands that you can refer to. But remember, you start with the data set name, then the dollar sign. What exactly do you want to work on? Which variable are you interested in particular? Okay. In case of categorical variables, you can still do the same. For example, here, you can say some summary, literacy, dollar sign, then the parent school, you can run that. It will show you the different frequencies of course, the results are going to be the same. Alternatively, you can use the table command, okay? It is table, and then inside the table, you put in the literacy, the name of your data set, dollar sign, then the categorical variable that you're considering. For example, in this particular case, I considered that one. If you run that, you still get the same results. You can do the same on other variables like the family. If you run line 1, 2, 3, then it will tell you that, oh, okay, those that when we're looking at family income, those with no income, they're just 758. And then with income between this to that, it's that. Those that have got income above 500 and more, they're 95. I mean, that is the simple descriptive that we're talking about. But you just need to know the common one. You can use summary for everything. You can use summary if you want a specific variable. You can also, for summary for continuous as well as the categorical, but also you can use the table command for categorical variables. Let me check in the chat. Are we on the same page? Are we on the same page? Okay. Object not found. You need to find out what object are they talking about, such that that one is resolved. Okay. All right. Also, we can run frequencies by using the prop table. In case first, please let me know if you're having like prop table. Okay, and then you need the prop table of what you got previously. For example, I've already known that when I'm looking at the parent school, there are 2 levels. Either parent has a college education or no education. I can still go ahead and get percentages or proportions by using the prop.table. Okay, so if I use prop.table and then I can put everything inside that I want proportions, all right? Then I can run this particular line, prop.table, and then it will give me proportion that this is 0.57, and then those with no college 0.45, sorry, 42. If I want to put them into percentage, I use the same line, but I multiply by 100%. So I'm running line 132, and it's giving me 57.75 or 42.25. I mean, you're reporting the frequency, you're reporting the percentages. But also still, in case you're not interested to do the breakdown, you know, for this, and you want to do everything at a go, there's another interesting command that you can use. And we can get that from, you can install the summary tools, okay? And then you load the library, which is the summary tools. I'm just giving you an example. And inside here, our main command is frequency. okay? I'm just giving an example, then I'm going to pause. So in case remember we said we're going to build our libraries as we move on, depending on, do I need this, okay? So if in case I load line 137, I've already installed, I don't need to install again, I just need to load the library. I'm going to use the frequency command, okay? So what happens is that I want to load everything. I want to see the frequencies within my literacy dataset. Or still, I can do it for a specific variable. It doesn't matter. So what happens if I run frequency and I put in my dataset name? If I run this, see what is going to happen. It's going to give me a summary of everything, of all the variables that I have. For example, this was literacy with parents school. It will give me the frequency for both, and then it will also give me the percentage. Like it is 57.75, then 42 point that. And then it will also give you the total accumulation, the cumulative frequency. And then the NA, it is telling you that there is no missing variable, and then it gives you the total that it's 100, and then also the total percentage is 100. What this command does, it just gives you more information. And then maybe you don't need to take a lot of time. And then the other bit that you need to do is to just pick the information. If you're writing a paper, and then you put your information in a Word document. We talked about the rank variable. It is telling us that it's certificate and then diploma. Those under certificate are 286. And then diploma, they are 114. And you can also pick your frequencies. And then, I mean, you can transfer this information wherever that you want it to work for you. Let me pause. Anyone who is lost? I am lost on percentage and frequency. Okay. Can you type 1 if we are on the same page? If not, then I can recap a little bit. Someone is typing 2, 0. Okay. All right. Let me ask a question. If you've gotten how to use the summary command, okay, can you type yes? Have you learned how to use the summary command? All right. With the summary, it just gives us some few descriptives. And then inside the summary command, what we do, in case you want the whole data set, within the bracket, you can type in the name of the data set. In case you want for a specific variable, you type the name of the data set, you put a $, and then after the $, you choose the variable that you're interested in. Okay. I also say sometimes you can also do the proportions. These are whatever that I first showed you, they're just breakups, okay? But also some other commands whereby you can do everything at a go. If you're having categorical variables, you can go ahead and use, if you don't want to use the summary, you can use the table command. Inside the table command, you start with your data set, the name of the data set, $, you put the specific variable that you're interested in. And then if you run that line, it will give you an output. From that output, or from that particular line, you can as well go and get percentages. And in that case, we use the prop.table command. Okay, so in case you don't want to have all those breakdowns, you can go in and use the summary tools and use the frequency command. Within the frequency command, it just generates comprehensive frequency tables for all the counts as well as the percentages. Like you're combining everything. It will not separate for you for maybe this particular group. It will just give you a summary of everything with the frequency as well as the percentages. So what happens is that I'm just giving a recap. In case you run this particular one, for example, if you put in the frequency and you type in the data set name, which is literacy, so it will give you a summary for each variable. For example, this is literacy and the Q score. Then as you proceed down, it's going to give you literacy and the parent school, all your variables, literacy, and then the rank, then literacy, and then the year. I think you're seeing that $sign that is popping up. And then it also goes ahead to tell you that, okay, this is a factor. You get to know it's categorical. I had first year students, and then I had second year students. The first years, they were 255, the second years were 144, and then you can go ahead and pick the frequencies, okay? Here, the frequency is the percentage is 63.75, and then the percentage for the second years is 36.2. All right? And you can, if you don't want to pick this particular column, you can also pick the total percentages. I mean, they're still the same results. And then if you want to transfer your outputs to maybe to a Word document, you can just get through and the different counts. And then you're like, okay, we looked at, for example, the part of the family income. And we had those that never had income, they were this much, and then this is the percentage you can pick. The NA, it means non-missing. There are no missing entities. So that is why we are having 0. But this one just gives you like what you need if you want to summarize everything at a go. I don't know if I'm speaking on the same page. How did you import in R? Wow. You refer to the YouTube, that will give you a good answer. So can I continue? Are we on the same page now? You can also try it at your end. As you're trying, it will be easy for you to know that, okay, when I tried, I came up with an error, or at my side, it's not coming out, and it is easy to navigate, to ask a question if you have a problem. Okay. Kindly, in case you have time, always this, when it comes to analysis about practicing, and then the things will become part of you. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing this, and then I share my slides. Okay. We have some things that we can also do within our data sets. Remember, it depends on the objective that you want to achieve, okay? You can create new variables, you can rename columns, you can subset rows. This could be even part of the assignment that you can do. You ask yourself, okay, given I've got this particular data set, how do I add a new variable? How do I delete a variable, okay? And then, so we've done the part of the descriptive analysis that is already done, but you can still try out the rest. If you want to do data manipulation, for example, if you want to create a new variable, it's within the same data sets that you want to create a new variable. For example, maybe you can say, within my data set, the quiz score, which was ranging from 1 to 20, I can say that, for example, those that are below, maybe let me say 14, they have got low levels of financial literacy, and then those above 14, they have got high levels of financial literacy. So in that case, I'll need to create a variable, for example, which is like, okay, it could be that is categorical. I can move from continuous to categorical variable, but not the other way around. So in that case, I'll be creating a new variable. I can use the rename function to rename a given column. All these functions are within the Tidyverse package. That is all that you need. Tidyverse has got many nested packages in it. Okay. I can also subset the rows. For example, in case I'm dealing, we say that I've got first years and second year students, I can subset the rows and only work with only first year students. Or I can subset my data set and I only work with the second year students. I can delete the different columns by using by using both the subset and then the select functions. Okay. Here, this part is very important, whereby it just helps you to still within when you're doing descriptive, what are the different things that might be of interest. If you're having one categorical variable, like what we've seen, most of the time the method of analysis is frequency. Or, yeah, we have just talked about that. And the method of visualization, you can do a pie chart, you can do a bar chart. Okay, we are going to do a lot of this work is going to be covered in the next session of exploring data analysis. In case of one scale variable, like one continuous variable, we do a summary statistics, which we've seen. If you want to do it visually, you can do a histogram. In case of two categorical values, two categorical variables, the method of analysis, we use a chi-square. If there are two continuous variables, we use a correlation coefficient. If it's one categorical and then one scale, we do comparison of means, or what you refer to as an analysis of variancy. And of course, there are different methods of visualization that we can use. Okay. Let me pause a little bit and I ask in the chat, are we on the same page? Okay. If you have a question, you can post it in the Q&A and then it will be answered. All right. I'm going to stop sharing here and then I do the last part. When I go back to R, okay, I just want us to do a few things within data manipulation, okay? And then other things, I believe that at the end of the week, you'll have how to navigate your different data sets and you just keep building, you just keep learning. Okay, so I'm only going to do one thing. How do I create a new variable? I want to convert. I've got a variable which is Q-score. These are the scores that students got, okay? So in case I run my data set again, that is the literacy data set, I can pick the summary statistics. This one, at least now we know. And I can use the mean just to find out, okay, just the mean alone. And then I want to create a new variable using the if-else command. Remember what we talked about yesterday? If you're not so certain about how a particular command works, you can type question mark and then you say if else. Okay. And sometimes you can read from the yellow window what it does, or you can just run that line and then you come to your help window and they're telling you how to use it. They give you the description, okay? And then they're telling us that a value with the same shape as test, which is filled with elements of either yes or no, depending on whether the element of a test is true or false. So this is the usage that we're going to use. They're telling us that, okay, first write the test that you want that is the condition that you want to test. If the condition is satisfied, then it will be yes. Otherwise, it will be no. Okay, so this is what we want to create, because from our continuous variable, we are having that we want to create a condition and categorize two groups of people, where we group students, one that are financially literate and then financially illiterate. So implying that I'm going to create a condition here. That is my test. It's going to be my first thing. So the test is going to be on the financial literacy score. Within my data set, I'm going to pick the financial literacy score. If it is greater than my mean, that is the test, then yes. So my yes, I'm saying, say they are financially illiterate. They are financially literate. Otherwise, it is the opposite. And that is what I'm having on line 160. Yes, that is what I'm having on this particular line. Okay. My if else. So this is the if else. All right. The test that I want, that my test is gonna be, go to my data set, pick for me the quiz score. If it is greater than the mean, okay, this is the test I'm considering. Forward and do. If this anywhere okay. So in case this test is passed, then call it, give it they are financially literate. Otherwise, let them be financially illiterate. All right. So, and I'm creating a new variable. The new variable is called Q-score2. And I also want this variable Q-score2 to be attached within the same data set. That's why I'm saying literacy as my data set. I'm adding $, a new variable that I'm creating, which I'm calling Q-score2, which is the one that is going to show me whether students are financially literate or financially illiterate. So after that, I run this particular line. Please note that initially we are having 7 variables. So if I run this line, I expect my variables to increase. For example, if I come here and I run, you see what is happening? My variables have increased from 17 to 18. If I want to view, I can come and click here. And then within my data set, I come and check, has there been any change? You see that I've created a new variable and it has categorized for me 2 things. Either a student is financially illiterate or a student is financially literate. Okay, and even I can do the tabulation, because since it's now categorical, I do a I do the table command of the new variable, and then I'll see like, oh, now I've got 201 that belong to this category, and then 199 that belong to this category. Okay, let me pause a bit and check in the chat. Are we on the same page? Anybody who is lost? Anyone who has tried and wants to share? Okay. Can I get, let's get 2 people on that, and then maybe we can learn from the rest. If you want to share, kindly put up your hand and then you can be promoted. We can, there's Olga. If you want to share, then we can see from you. Then there is Sharon. Anyone who has tried and then it's not clear, then we can explain from your end. Repeat, please recap.
Well, promote Gloria.
Okay.
Gloria.
Gloria, can you share? We shall have 2 people.
Some people are saying they can't see the script. Maybe you zoom in. And then others are saying they are completely lost. So you may have to recap a few things.
Okay. Let's first hear from Gloria and then I'll recap.
Okay.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, Gloria, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Let me stop sharing.
Gloria, please go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, that's my slide.
Try to be loud such that we can hear you.
Yeah, good afternoon. Yeah, the page I've been able to run the script, and this is my slide. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see my slide?
I can see okay. Yes,
Yeah.
that you're showing me the data set. I'm seeing that.
Yeah.
So what is, yeah, we want to, but you're already you're having the what? The Q2 score.
Yes, the Q2 score.
Okay, can you scroll up? Oh. Okay, yes. Can you scroll up? Now, we are seeing that this person continue.
Yes,
When you look at the first person, we can see that they are categorized as financially illiterate. It implies that their scores were below the mean, below because it was 11. So when you go back into the Q score, the Q score where we are having their values, they should have a score which is less than 1.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Can you briefly explain to me what you understand by that line? Then I'll recap from there. What you've understood, then I can support.
Okay.
I'm looking at line 136. Line 136.
136.
Line 136. You check in. Yes. Okay.
Okay.
I want to hear what you've learned about that line. Then I can support you.
Yeah, I'm lost in the way.
Sorry?
I'm lost. You don't really know. Though I heard you more, like I'm not.
You're lost.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, can you let's see the beginning of 136. No, we're still on line 136. Okay, great.
Yeah,
So, okay, now try to follow closely. You know what line 128 does? It was just reading for us the data set, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
which we saw it successfully read within the environment.
Yes.
Okay, we said that the summary, we wanted to know, the summary of the Q score. Q score is our dependent variable. It was testing about, it was the quiz score. Okay,
Yes.
so I came here and I wanted to know what was the mean. So I used the mean command, mean, and then in bracket you put in whatever that you want, isn't it? That is line 132. Are we there? I want to use the mean as my threshold to say that if a student is below the mean, which mean is 11.23. Are you following?
Okay. Yes, yes, yes.
If you run that line, you will see that the mean is 11.23. If you run line 132.
Okay, yes, yes, I can see that.
Okay, that is what I based on, because if I want to convert from continuous to categorical, I need a test. What test can I use? We said that when you come to the help window, are you seeing the help window? You have it here. This is the help window. Are you seeing where I'm putting the pointer? Here. Are you seeing the pointer?
Yeah.
Great. So with the help window, I just want to understand how to use the if-else command. Okay. And they're telling you that this is the usage that you can, this is how you're going to use it. If else in brackets, there are three arguments. The test, that is the logical mode that you want to use. For example, I say the test I want to put, if my Q score is greater than the mean, which mean I already have, then your yes is, what do you want to call it? That yes, if the test is passed, I want to call it, I want to say these students are financially literate. Otherwise, it is the no. They are not.
Okay.
It is the opposite.
Yes, yes.
Am I making sense?
Yes, yes.
So now I come and just pick the if-else command, okay, which is here on this particular line. So what is my test? The test is on the Q score, the quiz score. So within my literacy data set, pick for me the quiz score. If it is greater than the mean, which is 11.23, then yes, call it financially literate. Otherwise, the no, it's financially illiterate.
Illiterate. Okay.
Are we on the same page there?
Yes.
But I want to introduce a new variable within my data set called Q-score2, because I need this column that gives me this output. Remember, I'm converting from continuous to categorical. I'm moving from Q-score. I want to maintain the Q-score. So I create a new variable, Q-score2, within the same data set that will show me financially literate and then financially illiterate. And it is this Q-score, this is a new variable, Q-score2, but I attach it to the literacy data set, such that it's also part of the other variables that are there.
Okay.
Am I making sense?
Yes. Yes.
That's why when you run that line, you see that the variables are increasing from 17 to 18. The 18th one is the Q-score2 variable. Now, which will show financially literate and then financially illiterate. Yet we've also maintained our original Q-score. Does it make sense?
Yes. Okay.
Can I ask
let me
you to
now
do
run
for
it.
me a simple exercise?
Okay.
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 Can we let's run a summary statistics for age, the open age, because it's also continuous. And then we say we will use the if else command. You can still do it under there.
Okay.
Okay. You can just type come to where there is table.
Okay.
You can enter, create space there. Create space where you can work from. Enter. Enter. Okay, great. Let's do for age. Maybe it will be more clear. We have age. Let's have a summary. Okay. Literacy, our data set. $sign. Let's get Q24 open age, which is the continuous one.
Q24.
This one here, scroll down, you can come and pick it. Yeah.
Okay, open age. Yeah.
Great. Okay, run it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are seeing that the mean age is around 22.15. Okay, now what we are going to do, just for learning purposes, let's say young and then old. Okay, if a student is greater than, if a student's age is above 22. Okay, let's say 22.15 for learning purposes. We say that person is older. Below we say young. You get what I mean? Okay, just copy that line and then edit it. Okay. So we need to create
22.
It was 22 words.
22.12.
Even if we just put 22, it doesn't matter. But you put, just for learning purposes, 15. We need to change this. Our test has to change. We put age. We put age. Yes, that one. Okay. Now, instead of what is the condition if somebody is above the mean age, now instead of financial literacy, that person is gonna be old. Okay. You get it? If the condition is passed, let's put old. Otherwise, let's put young. Old, OLD, OLD. No, we are saying that if it's greater, let that person be old. Yes, wonderful. Type old. Are you still there? Oh. Wow. We lost her. Okay, who can demonstrate for us that part for the case of age to see that you've gotten that part? You can, well, if you can manipulate from continuous to categorical. Anyone who wants to demonstrate? Okay. I'm going to. Okay, but what our colleague was sharing with us, I think you've picked the concept. So I'm going to leave you with some assignment. Of course, what I want you to do, you can still categorize into 3 levels. This one I want you to do on your own. Yes, however much like I've put the commands for you, but try to read through and understand how they work. And then also maybe you want to say financial literacy, you want to put it in low, medium, and high, or you want to break them in, I mean, whatever levels that you want to consider. You can still, if you want, you can still use the if else command, or you can use the cat command. All the things you can learn as you move on. Okay, you can use the cat command, you can use the case when function, you can use the if else command. All that is great for you. We can rename. I want to wrap up. You can rename your variable. Okay, for example, we use the rename command. So I say that when you want to rename, we are using the rename command. Okay, inside you put in the name of the data set, and then after the name of the data set, what you want to change. For example, instead of Q score, I want to call it quiz score. So you type the name that you want to change it to and let it be equal to what is existing within the data set. So I'm changing Q score to quiz score. If I run that line and I run call names to check if it has been affected, I'll see that now I no longer have the Q score, I have quiz score. It can apply, the same command can be reproduced to other different things. Then I also want, what if I want to subset the rows of the data set? I can use the subset command. Let's take an example. We said with the year of study, we had first year and second year. In case I want to only work with only first years, what do? It implies that I'm going to create a new data set. Okay, from the master data set, I'm going to create a smaller data set for only first years. So how do I do that? This is the last bit. I want to call the name of the new data set I'm creating for only first years as literacy year 1. I use the subset command. I put in the name of my data set, which is literacy. And then within literacy, I pick the variable that I'm interested in. The variable is Q23 year. This variable has 2 levels, the first year and then the second year. And then I tell R that only give me for only first years. That is why I say Q23 year double equals equal, give me only first years. Okay, so if I run this line, what is going to happen? I've created a new data set with now 255 observations. These are only the first years, implying that the balance, their second years. I still have the 18 variables. I can click on the icon and now check my new data set, which has only the first year students. Okay, I can go back. In case I want to reproduce it again for something else, all I need to know, what is my data set, and then my variable that I want to subset. If you feel you can still use the help window or the help command to support you. All right, and then the last one here, it's about what about in case I'm not interested in certain columns within my data set. I can delete them out, and then I remain with only the ones that I need. But still, it implies that you need to create a data set again, excluding all the variables that you don't need, and you only stay with what you want. I called my data set literacy 2. Okay, I subset the command. I use my data set literacy. Then I use the select command. Select equal to, you put minus C. The C is a concatenate command which brings together, like inside here, remove from the main data set, remove for me the parents, and then remove for me the rank variable. You can add as many variables as you want. Here I only considered only 2 variables. So implying that when I run, I expect now my variables to reduce by 2. They were 17, now they'll reduce to 15. Because as you work, you have to think at the back of your mind. When I run that, I can now see that my variables have reduced. And when you check again, you will not see the rank variable, and then the parent variable will be deleted. Those are the sum of ways that we can do data manipulation. I think that will be the end of my part for today. And then the other bits are going to be on exploratory data analysis. But there is a lot still within the day one script, which you can refer to and you teach yourself about some of these things, especially. We are going to see more of data visualization in the coming session with the rest of the colleagues. Professor Susan Thomas, I'm handing over to you now, unless if there is a quick question that I need to answer.
Oh, thank you very much, Dr. Helen. Can you hear me?
Sure.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Helen. Thank you, participants. I hope now you've become our gurus in importing, exporting data in...
Can we see your face?
Oh, you want to see my face? Helen, why do you want to see my face? You already know me.
Participants needs to see you.
Dr. Helen, you pay a fine. Okay. So I was saying that I think now you are comfortable with R, the first bits of R. You can manipulate R now, import data, either Excel or any other file extension. And I encourage you to go and practice. We promised to end at 5 and it's 2 minutes to 5. Tomorrow we will be having exploratory data analysis with Dr. Thomas Odong. Will take us through exploratory data analysis and some bit of inferential and non-parametric statistics. Then from there, time allowing, we will do some bit of regression. But for now, I encourage you, practice makes perfect. Go to YouTube. You can either download or even play the YouTube video and you'll be able to follow. If you came late, I saw some people say they came late. You don't need to worry about coming late because it's already recorded. You can always take off time, listen to the YouTube recording and then follow. So that after this week, next week, we are not going to repeat any of the introductory part. Once we finish this introductory part, we will be doing the advanced statistics, and we are not going to talk about entering data, loading file packages and installing packages. So please try to actively practice. Thank you so much. Unless my colleague Thomas has something to say, I'll give you an opportunity. I give an opportunity to Thomas.
Hello. Yes, thank you, everyone. I'm not as nice looking as my 2 colleagues. I hope you forgive my looks. Yeah, thank you very much. I've been trying as much as possible to answer the queries that were raised in the Q&A. I still see some people posting what should have been posted in Q&A under the chat. So if you have any question, I've been trying to see how people are struggling with the codes. Yeah, but it's very important to read the error that error gives you, because in that error that error gives you, there are solutions. So you can look at what I mean. Sometimes error says this package is not available or is missing. Then you first go and install that before you can install the next one. We have a lot of material. There is the YouTube channel for Forum. There is YouTube channel for Forum, and then also there are lots of material on Google. So you can always Google. If you get any error, please, you can copy the error and put it in Google, and there will be suggestions related to how that particular error can be sorted out. You have the material for exploratory data analysis. Inferential is already given to you. So please try to download the folder, put it on your desktop, and open the R script and try to install all the packages that are required, so that tomorrow we can pick up from there and move. Thank you very much. Maybe I can hand you over to Forum team. Is there anybody? There's Amitu, there's Jolene. So please hand over to you. Thank you. Let me remove my face from here now.
Thank you so much, Dr. Thomas Odong. Thank you, Dr. Namaweje, and thank you very much, Professor Susan Tubwewaze. Thank you so much, the participants. Today we end here, and tomorrow we start again at 2 o'clock. And please take time to go and review some of the sessions on our Forum Network YouTube channel on some issues which you might be facing. Thank you so much. Have a good evening.